The film begins in an intergalactic universe where travel from one planet to another is possible. The outer planets are less developed and lawless, with crime gangs operating there unchecked. One such planet is Corellia, which is ruled by a giant worm named Lady Proxima. She is the leader of the White Worms gang who shelter fugitives in exchange for their loyalty. Lady Proxima, like most planet leaders, is in search of an expensive superfuel called coaxium. The people in her gang only want food and safety, except for the protagonist named Han. He dreams of becoming an established pilot and owning his own ship one day. Han's ambitions set him apart from the rest. One day, he is tasked with trading coaxium with another gang in exchange for Lady Proxima. However, he is betrayed and chased. After being robbed of the money, he runs back to his girlfriend Kira and reveals that he managed to pocket a vial of coaxium while being chased. The price is too high, enough to bribe the officer manning the gate and escape the filthy planet. The pair prepare to flee, but are caught and brought before the worm leader. Han is about to be executed for messing up business, but he manages to fool the leader by breaking a window. The broken glass lets in sunlight, which Lady Proxima and her species are allergic to. This allows Han to escape with his girlfriend. The chase lasts a while before they reach the spaceport. To escape Corellia, they must go through the transit door, and the pair have the expensive coaxium to do so. They bribe the door opener with fuel and luckily, she agrees to help. When the door opens, Han goes through it, but Kira is pulled back seconds before he does. Separated by a security door, Han promises to return and get her off the planet. Lady Proxima's henchmen pull Kira away, and Han retreats into the crowd to avoid being noticed. He immediately decides to enlist as a pilot for the Empire and approaches a recruiting officer at the port. The officer gives him the name Han Solo, which will be his identity for the rest of his life. Good luck, Han Solo. 3 years later, Han is fighting as an Imperial infantryman on a planet called Mimban. It turns out he was kicked out of the flight academy for thinking on his own. As the battle to the death continues, Han's men are all killed. When his life is in danger, Han meets 3 thieves posing as fighters: Beckett, his girlfriend Val, and an alien named Rio. Not wanting to be part of the Imperial army, Han requests to join the band of robbers. He also believes the group will get him to Corellia faster than the Imperial army. However, when Beckett refuses to allow him to join, they argue. Eventually, Beckett has him imprisoned by an anthropomorphic Wookiee named Chewbacca. The Wookiee attacks Han and is ready to eat him alive, before Han reveals that he can understand and speak the Wookiee language. Able to communicate, the two quickly decide to escape the prison and break the beam that holds them together. Han drops the ceiling and the 2 guards fall to the ground. The 2 escape and see Beckett, Val, and Rio boarding a ship. Rio, impressed by Han's ability to communicate with the Wookiee, convinces Beckett to take the 2 with them as the Wookiee's strength will be an advantage. The 2 are accepted into the group. Before their next mission, the group spends a night resting on the snow-covered planet Vander. Chatting around a campfire, Val wonders why Han is so anxious to go to a planet like Corellia. Han tells her he is going for a girl he loves and brushes off the conversation. Beckett then tells Han that they are trying to steal a large amount of coaxium from a train for the people they serve. He proves his trust in him by disassembling a DL-44 blaster rifle, turning it into a handgun, and handing it to Val. The next day the group finds the target train and sets out to steal it. They find the coaxium, but are ambushed by a group of Cloud Riders. Rio is shot while he is flying the spacecraft, forcing Han to take control of the craft. Rio eventually weakens and dies from his injuries, leaving their group vulnerable. Val is cornered by Cloud Riders at the end of the tracks, just above a chasm. To protect her group and prevent the coaxium from falling into the wrong hands, she flies herself off the tracks. The train falls to the ground. Han also drops the coaxium as the ship is not strong enough to pull it away from the Cloud Riders. The coaxium explodes, causing a large portion of the mountain to collapse. Beckett leaves a memorial for Rio and his girlfriend Val. After regaining his composure, he punches Han in the face and blames him for ruining the mission and causing his family's deaths. He also reveals that they were supposed to deliver the coaxium to a criminal named Dryden, the leader of the Crimson Dawn Syndicate. Beckett worries that Dryden will murder him without the coaxium. Han offers himself and the Wookiee to help Beckett find another deposit of coaxium and negotiate a new deal with Dryden. Beckett is reluctant to work with them again, but he reluctantly agrees to let them go with him. The next day, the three head to Dryden's expensive ship parked nearby. At a party hosted by the criminal, Han spots Kira. He embraces her, overjoyed to see his girlfriend after so many years. She smiles back, but her smile doesn't reach her eyes. It turns out she has been working for Dryden for a few years. In a private room, Dryden kills the regional governor, then calmly goes back to the party. He is ready to kill Beckett and Han for losing the coaxium, but Han asks him for one last chance to get the coaxium back. He suggests they get raw coaxium from the mines on the planet Kessel instead of processed coaxium. Dryden likes the idea and asks Kira to join him to make the plan a success. So the group has a tough task to complete. Still, Han is happy to have Kira and is ready to complete this task before settling down with her. In an attempt to find a ship for their mission, Kira invites the three to meet charming smuggler Lando Calrissian as he plays sabacc against other alien pilots. Han initially appears to be winning, but then Lando cheats and defeats him with a card hidden up his sleeve. Nevertheless, Lando joins Han and the others on their mission for the potential advantage. They stop and pick up Lando's droid friend L3-37, who has been watching a battle between the other droids and is upset that they are being treated like gladiatorial slaves. Lando takes them aboard his Millennium Falcon, which heads for the mining planet of Kessel. The group arrives on the planet Kessel and sets off in search of the mines. Realizing the need to get past the planet's massive turbidity cloud, L3 starts a ruckus by freeing the captive droids, leading the others to find and capture the coaxium. At the same time, the Wookiee sees the captive Wookiees. He feels sorry for his people and pleads with Han to free them. When the squad tries to escape, the monsters open fire on them, eventually resulting in a fierce battle. L3 is blown up and Lando rushes to save her. She loses the lower half of her body and is injured trying to return to the Falcon. Despite suffering a setback, the team manages to load the coaxium onto the ship and take off. However, en route, L3 dies in Lando's arms. As the squad takes off, they encounter an Imperial Star Destroyer blockade, which sends TIE fighters to attack. Since Lando can no longer operate, Han must pilot the Falcon to avoid TIE fighters and pass through the Maw, a group of black holes. Their day gets even worse when a giant space creature attacks them and tries to eat them. Han must complete the Kessel run in less than 130 parsecs, which is faster than any pilot has ever done before. In addition, they find themselves being pulled into a black hole. Han, demonstrating his piloting skills, instructs Beckett to speed up the Falcon by using a small amount of coaxium to steer it out of danger. After finally getting out of danger, Han brags that he completed the Kessel run in less than 12 minutes. After this eventful mission, they head to the planet Savarin, where they intend to meet Dryden and process the coaxium at a defunct refinery. But before they can do so, the Cloud Riders quickly locate the group. Han tries to deceive them by claiming that a small group of warriors is waiting on the Falcon, but his ruse is exposed when Lando flies off on the Falcon. Beckett initially mistakes the Riders for a gang of robbers, but the illusion is cleared when their leader, a teenager named Enfys Nest, appears. She claims that she and her group are only trying to stop Crimson Dawn from obtaining the coaxium. Nest wants to use the coaxium to help the growing rebellion against the Galactic Empire. She has lost many loved ones to the Syndicate and their crimes and wants to acquire the coaxium to keep them in check. Nest's words and actions cause Han to question his principles. He feels terrible working for the Syndicate that ruined the lives of millions of people like him. After much thought, he decides to trick Dryden and give him fake coaxium instead of the real one. A while later, Dryden's spaceship approaches, so Han, Kira, and the Wookiee take the coaxium to him. When everyone thinks the mission is complete, Dryden shocks them by claiming that the coaxium sample is fake. He accuses Han of turning against him and trying to sell the coaxium to the Cloud Riders. Han tries to defend himself, but is shocked again to learn that Beckett is Dryden's spy, who has been feeding him information about the group's true motives. Han feels betrayed, but is not surprised, as he predicted that Beckett would be loyal to his boss. He reveals that he borrowed a page from Beckett's strategy and had already predicted that Beckett would betray them. It is later revealed that the coaxium in space is real and the Cloud Riders are powerless. After discovering this, Beckett takes the Wookiee and the coaxium captive. In the final confrontation, Han and Kira fight Dryden. The villains win the first half of the battle, but Kira eventually overcomes him and stabs him in the heart with his own sword. After his death, Han rushes in search of the coaxium and to rescue the Wookiee. After a while, Han finally reaches Beckett. Beckett tries to negotiate his way out of the situation, but stealthily pulls out his gun. However, Han, well aware of his habits, shoots first and kills the betrayer. Elsewhere, Kira is approached by her real boss, a mysterious figure who reveals himself to be a man named Darth Maul. She informs him about the mission's failure and he appoints her to Dryden's old position. Eventually, she leaves aboard Dryden's ship, ignoring Han and the Wookiee as she wants to live her new life without Han. After everything is over, Han gives the coaxium to Enfys and his team, hoping they will use it for the good of the world. Enfys is thankful for his help and offers him a chance to join her. However, Han refuses and leaves with his new best friend, the Wookiee. A few days later, Han finds Lando and challenges him to another game of sabacc. Bound by his old habits, Lando tries to cheat again, but this time Han snatches Lando's cheat card from him before the match. This way, he wins the game fairly and gets the Falcon along with the Wookiee. Han decides to go to Tatooine, where a gangster is crewing for another mission. In the last scene, we see Han take the Falcon into hyperspace and take off.